My friend Bennett Cohen, who's a classmate of mine who's here from LA, a couple of days ago I texted him and I said, oh my God, it feels like the combination of a wedding, going on tour, buying a motorcycle, going across the country, opening a show, getting married, and getting divorced, and having a baby. And Bennett said, I think it's a little of all of those. So thank you for the big celebration. I want to say them now because a couple of people have to leave. I won't say what for, but they have to go soon. So I wanted them to be here for this. Are we recording?
I am.
Friends around here? I knew you were. Okay. I know. Are we recording? Am I on film? How's my life? Catherine Colson said to me shortly after I got out, she said, you usually don't get to experience this kind of... I take it by a cue from Bill Walsh. Jeez, I understand, Bill. You usually don't get to experience this kind of love and support till after you're dead. And with that, you don't get to publicly recognize the support because you are dead. She didn't say that part, I said that. So I feel doubly blessed. I get to get the love and support, and I get to publicly thank you. Each and every one of you has provided emotional and financial support, your letters of inspiration and hope, your hugs, your car honks, your thumbs up from across the bricks, your smiles and our shared tears of joy, your friendship and your love. David Taylor wrote me today, he said, in a world where everything seems to be going haywire and getting worse, it's gratifying to know that one justice can eventually prevail. And that friends come together to support a worthy cause can be a powerful force towards that worthy goal. For the friends and family who are not here, they send their love and celebrate with us in spirit, which is ever present to me. To my brother Ronald, who passed away just weeks before the dismissal, but whose spirits I feel every present in my life and who is at peace, and I know is pleased with that it is well with my soul. Amen. To Diana and Bennett for coming all the way from LA representing Yale Drums. And Diana. Every night that I sat near 27 days, I had all the letters, you know, they were all lined up against the windowsill, and in fact one of the deputies came in and said, you can't have that many letters. I understand that there is now called the Wilson Rule. You're not allowed to get more than 50 letters in a day. I don't know if they've implemented it if they need to. But in that array, there were pictures that were sent to me. There was a picture of Taylor, there's a picture of Henry, and Joshua and Ezra. And I called them my angels because they watched over me every night that I had to sleep on that really thin mattress. I need experience. I wrote this down to the teams. There was the OSF team and Chris Albright Tufts. I gotta say, I know that there were other people involved, but she was like the cheerleader of cheerleaders. I said, Chris, who was the team? And she said, well, there was Terry and Dave, and there was John. Lauren Topo, and there's Miriam and Danforth and Kevin and Mark Murphy and Vilma and Nicole Grant. And Nicole's not in the company. This is the party OSF team. And it was Wayne and Laura and Hannah, and she wrote, lots of actors chipped in and would slip me cash. It was very sweet. He said, Kate Hurster, collector from Tempest cast, Remi's collector from comedy, Joan and Kirsten and David Thompson covered art department, and so on. You would have loved all the sweet outpouring. People reached into their wallets and gave me 5s and 10s. It was a pretty beautiful thing. Thank you. Kevin Kennedy said to me, man, that sister's on a mission. When Kevin Kennedy tells you the sister's on a mission, you listen. I want to say something a little bit about OSF, and especially Bill and Cynthia, and supported by David Taylor and Ted, that when I got out, that first of all, I said, what do you want me to do? Should I come to rehearsals? Should I what? And through David Taylor basically said, hey bro, chill. We want to talk to you first. That's how I interpreted it. And so I had the meeting with them, and I didn't know what was going on, and I will tell you that they exceeded my expectations of support. Bill held my hand the entire meeting. And when I told him the story of what was going on with me, he stopped for a moment and he looked at me and he said, that sounds like a great midnight project. And those who don't know, Midnight Project is one of the epic projects that we do involving company generated work. And I looked at him and I said, we should see how it is. I thank OSF for walking that very delicate line between personal support and concerns of an organization. I'm not going to embarrass the person who told me this, but she's in the room right now. She said, the way OSF treated you has inspired me to up by or become more of a member of OSF. The way that they stuck by you. There's one category I call jail visits. And I wanted to see everybody, but I couldn't. They don't allow that. I don't know why. They allow 300 people to visit me at the bar. But Kimberly Barry, Mark Murphy, Kevin Kennedy, and Danforth Cummins came, and I just want to say, record it. It felt like I was in touch with people on the outside. And those who attended the bail hearing, again, is another place that the wise advice said, don't fill the courthouse with all your friends. So thank you guys, the selected few that did come, wisely advised me. I want to thank all the people who contributed to the bail, and I know that there were more people who wanted to contribute, and what a happy thing that there were people who came up to me and said, by the time I got to try to contribute, the money was already there. And that's just beautiful. In 2 short days, and then a matter of a few hours, $50,000 was raised. And even the jail deputies were impressed. And they told me so. A couple of times. I'm just going to say, Susan Baird, Kimberly Barry, Joe and Jean Cologne, Danforth and Shannon, Sid and Karen DeBoer, Nicole, Graham, Miriam, Ed, Bob, and Rex, Young, Terry, Leonard, Maxine, Jed B, Cecilia, John Pruitt, Kirsten, Vilma, Silva, Richard and Elaine Sweet, Gerald Taylor, the Topos, the Tylers, and the Whedons and Walkmans. Thank you so much. One more page. The second or third time I met with the lawyers, the deputies brought me down, and they said, oh, you're going to meet with your lawyers? I said, yes. And they said, oh, you're going to meet with the dream team. And I said, really? He said, oh, yeah, that's what we call them around here. And I said, well, that's what I'll call them. You know? There are 2 investigators, Josephina and Randy, and I'm so glad that they were on my side. I would not want to be on the other side of these two, because you will be found out. Josephine, I have to say, Josephine here? Did she make it? I had to say, I didn't like her when I first met her. I didn't like her. I said, why is she judging me? You know? But I had one conversation with her, and after that hour conversation, I had such deep respect and trust for her and her subtle, smart skills and experience. And Randy, well, he's a golfer, so I like him on that. You know, I gotta trust that. But Randy, with detail and specificity, investigative skills, left no doubt that no detail would be overlooked or not investigated. Thank you, sir. But you gotta meet, you ever meet Carl? This he's like so damn confident, so no nonsense, and I tell you, it just centered and settled me whenever I had a conversation with him. Now we come to Jenny. Jenny Feinberg, stand up, please. She was my counselor, advisor. She listened to my frustration. She kept me confident towards a positive outcome. In the most distressed moments, she stayed on the phone with me till I moved to a more positive place. And being an avid hiker herself, she knew sometimes I just needed a good hike to settle my spirit. Our first conversation, she said, quote, "I was thinking about your case over the weekend." And I said I knew I had the right person. And I had the right team. And she's a darn good lawyer. My sons, Joshua and Ezra, thank you so much for staying strong, my boys. The first time I saw Joshua at karate, he said, "Daddy, I missed you." Ezra just gave me a big hug and cried. Both of them wrote me letters. Joshua wrote me these very smart letters of hope. And Ezra sent me a birthday card in which he drew a birthday cake with a file. To Karen and Macy, Ezra's mother Karen and Joshua's mother Macy. Words cannot express the deep gratitude and love I feel. Here they go, right there. Okay.
She's right here.
Yeah.
I'm the easy one that I know.
Over there. Words cannot express the deep gratitude and love that I feel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You were my lifeline in my darkest moments. And the most fortunate man alive to have the two of you and the four of you in my life. Thank you. Kim Scott, who's not here, said to me at one point, you know how Kim was before. And at one point we were talking and she turned to me and she goes, "I know George Bailey." I think I have a little sense of what he felt. For I live feeling of being in blessedness and appreciation, not sweating the small stuff, and there's a lot of small stuff. And I live in a state of grace and appreciation. I continue to learn from this experience and to focus away from the negative towards the positive, away from asking why towards the now what. From the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you. And in this world, there's so many elements of uncertainty. Please know that you can have made a difference. Have made a difference not just in my life, but in our collective belief in the awesome power, that's a Bill word, in the awesome power of a village. Drink, eat, and pub.